Hello everybody, welcome back to another reading. Today we're taking a look at the case of Dail Dinwiddie, who was 23 on September 23rd, 1992, when she and her friends went to a U2 concert in Columbia, South Carolina. The concert ended about 11:15 p.m., after which they decided to go to the Jungle Gyms, which is in the Five Points district in Columbia. In the Jungle Gyms it was pretty busy, so eventually she kind of lost sight of her friends, and her friends didn't know where she was either. After a while, they assumed that she had gotten a ride home. Maybe her parents had gone to pick her up. Meanwhile, of course, Dail was not gone yet. She was looking for her friends. Her friends decided to go on to a different place after a while, and Dail was still there looking for them. Eventually, she asked the bouncer if the bouncer had seen them, which he hadn't. So she left and walked around the area for a while. She came back shortly to check the club again. Not long after that, the bouncer saw her leaving again, this time in the direction of the Green and Harden intersection, and she appeared, according to his description, to be hurrying to meet someone. After that point, there's been no sightings of Dail. There's been no contact. There was, however, one suspect, a certain Ronaldo Javier Rivera, who was at the time attending the University of South Carolina. There is no real hard evidence connecting him to her case. He has been convicted of murdering other women in the late 90s and early 2000s. He's never actually said anything about Dail, never admitted to anything to do with Dail, so it's unlikely that he's going to be tried and convicted of her disappearance. Recently, there was another suspect. Now, I don't have the name of the person themselves, but apparently this is an attorney who was accused of sexual misconduct by a woman, and he had told her that she reminded him of Dail. Now, whether he was just trying to scare her or whether he really meant it, whether he really had something to do with that, we don't really know yet, and he's currently not being tried over her disappearance either. So we really don't know a whole lot about what happened to her after she left the Jungle Gyms, and that is why I was asked to take a look at this case. We're starting off with the Wise Dog Tarot, which is currently on the table, and for any further questions we're moving on to the Deviant Moon deck. As per usual, I'm just going to start shuffling the deck. As soon as I have about a table full of cards, we're going to stop and take a look. So without much further ado, let's get started. Okay, let's see what we've got here. We're starting off with the Ten of Cups in reverse, then followed by the Seven of Wands in reverse, and the Queen of Cups upright. So we have her feeling pretty bad, and I feel like this is the part where she realizes that she no longer knows where her friends are in the club. She's feeling pretty challenged by this, also just really unhappy. And I think this Queen of Cups over here might be somebody who tried to point her in the right direction. So she may have asked other people other than the bouncer if they had seen her friends. And somebody probably came forward and tried to do their best to help her and say, maybe you want to try this, maybe you want to try that. Or at the very least, they really empathized with her and her situation, so she may have taken some hints from them. We do see the next card though being the Five of Pentacles over here, which kind of strikes me as I don't have any money right now. Like maybe this person very kindly suggested like, oh, maybe you could go over here and over there and ask for a taxi or something along those lines. I can point you in the right direction. And she's like, thank you very much. And then she moves on and checks that she doesn't have enough finances. And then we have the Seven of Cups also in reverse, and the Ace of Pentacles also in reverse. Okay, so just not having any luck here. Really wishing that they could have better circumstances, not finding that they have much options right now, and also all the things that she's trying to do, all the things she's trying to benefit from are not packing out as she wants as well. So basically we're panicking in this point. We can't find our friends. We've been asked or told that maybe you can try this or that, and that's also not going to be a thing. So far things are not working out. She's once again though looking for cooperation with somebody because we have the Three of Pentacles next, so maybe somebody else tried to help her out as well. Also perhaps again pointing in the right direction because we see here a path over here. Or this could be her thinking, wait, I think I may have seen them going in a certain direction. I need to make sure to go there because they're about to jump over that little wall. We see the Sun is in reverse, and so is the Knight of Shadows. Knight of Shadows? Knight of Swords. How did they end up with shadows? Anyway, so the Sun, because the Sun is in reverse, maybe that's why I'm saying shadows. But the Knight of Swords with the Sun in reverse, kind of pointing towards that... I always describe that as a hot, cold feeling when you feel like all your options are running out and you're like, oh no, I don't know if I'm going to be able to fix this. Like something really bad happens and you're just like, oh, this is really bad. I need to fix this, but I see no way out. And you're just kind of panicking, but trying to keep yourself together, that type of thing. And this is kind of what that seems to be like. Like she's really trying very hard to catch up with her friends or find some way of figuring out where they are. Possibly even thinking that maybe something happened to them as well. Knight of Swords in reverse though does also point towards, aside from being hurried, may also be saying the wrong thing, thinking the wrong thing. Other people perhaps also pointing her in the wrong direction in a hurry, which kind of coincides with the bouncer saying that she was hurrying off to that intersection. And I don't think that this person who may have told her to go there was ill-intentioned, but just misinformed themselves as well. Or just like taking a glance at the situation and going, oh, you need to go over here. Like somebody just makes an offhand comment, and in that state of mind that she's in, she's like, okay, I'll do that. And then she just runs off, and we don't see her again. We see next though the Two of Wands in reverse, unable to make plans or unable to see a route ahead. We have the Page of Pentacles in reverse and the King of Pentacles, which kind of landed on its side, but just a little bit in reverse, enough that I put it in reverse. In any case, it seems to be like a situation where she is just trying again to make things work, just not really seeing a way out, and also still having no way of paying for things, possibly not enough in any case, or just not having enough resources to or at her disposal to get her transportation going. Maybe she didn't have enough money for a phone or something. This is 1992, so she probably didn't have her own mobile phone yet. That didn't really become a thing for most people until about mid-90s, I believe, so she may have been looking for a payphone and unable to pay for that or something. In any case, not really seeing much luck there. And then we have this King of Pentacles, and as I said, it landed on its side. So this could be the person that she ended up finding, whom she thought would be a good investment. At least make themselves turn, or at least make themselves seem like a person that may turn out to help them, because they seemed resourceful. And since it was slightly slanted towards in reverse, they may have appeared nicer than they were initially and then later turned around. So this may be a situation where she finds the person who is ultimately responsible for her disappearance from that area in the very case, or in the very least. Doesn't necessarily mean that they are involved in her permanent disappearance, but it kind of looks like that's the point where she ran into somebody who had ill intentions. Let's move on to the deck to see what happened after that, because so far all we really see is the panic and her rushing around. And then what? Because now we might be seeing her leaving the area. What happens next? Okay, these guys, they took a moment. Knight of Pentacles and the Four of Cups in reverse. Okay, Knight of Pentacles is very methodical. Also, this person has transportation, it looks as though, so they may have appeared to be reliable, I think. Knight of Pentacles has that vibe of being just like a true blue type of person, steady and all that sort of thing. So maybe they, like I said earlier with the King of Pentacles, may have appeared like they were going to be okay to get in the back of the car of and hitch a ride with. And then we have the Four of Cups. It kind of also points towards her saying, you know what, I don't really have any options right now other than to trust this person. Now, obviously, I don't know if she actually had no money on her or no way to call anybody. But I think in that moment, she was so focused on having no way out that she was like, okay, this person seems nice enough and I don't really see any other options. So I'm thinking that I'm going to have to go and jump in the back with this guy. Or maybe in the front seat, I don't know, but into their car or their mode of transportation. What next? Oh. One over there, one on the floor. Let's see who this is. Queen of Cups in reverse. Oh, we're also about to put that on the same location of Queen of Cups right there. So maybe this time this person, and a new person probably, is appearing, or at least initially appeared to be friendly, warm and welcoming, but may have had ulterior motives, ulterior intentions. Let's grab the one on the floor. Okay, so Two of Cups is the next one. Maybe this person, this Queen of Cups, was so emotionally manipulative that they managed to get them to agree with something that they were proposing, like making them friendly with them as well. They appear, well, at least the person on the right appears to be kind of shielding themselves, but still toasting, like they're kind of wary, but at the same time, like I said over here, don't have much of a choice. Might as well kind of laugh along with what it is that they're saying and just try to crack a few jokes, and meanwhile keep an eye on the roads that we're hitting to see if we're heading in the right direction, so we can perhaps call something out if it does go wrong. Here we have a little stack that still needs shuffling. That fell out. So I'm thinking that she's just kind of awkwardly agreeing with things that they're saying and probably just trying to keep them calm and quiet. That one's gone on the floor and we want these guys. Okay, I'm going to grab one on the floor first. Okay, bump this one out of the way, but the one on the floor was the Four of Swords in reverse. Now this seems as though she is uneasy. She cannot rest and she cannot sit restfully in their vehicle because I believe that she is feeling like there's definitely something about this other person that's putting them on edge, literally, because it is a swords card as well. Like there is a sword kind of pointing towards them, like, oh no, this might not be as good as I thought. So we have a Knight of Cups here next, and we have a King of Pentacles again, and the Empress in reverse. Okay, so somebody is definitely not taking as good care as they should. We could see this as the Care Act being dropped. You can see that tail coming out of the cloak there, like the intentions are being revealed slowly but surely. King of Pentacles, though, is probably still lording stuff over her, like, well, I've got all this stuff. Why don't you come with me because I can make things happen and that sort of thing. We have the Knight of Cups as well, who is mostly focused on their own emotions. I kind of feel like this is perhaps the person, the King of Pentacles as well. Mostly just thinking about how the situation benefits them and not really so much about the person in their car, in this case Dail, perhaps not wanting to cooperate with whatever it is that they have in mind. So very selfish in that sense. Could also signify her, Dail, thinking, oh no, I need to focus on myself right now because this is not going in the direction that I wanted. So we're definitely going south in this part of the story. Not the direction south, although maybe, who knows, but I'm thinking emotionally speaking, okay, so we got quite a stack here, 4 cards I think, yep. Tower reverse. Okay, so I think this is almost like the thing that they expected may happen is actually happening. So it is definitely a big upheaval in her life at that point, but it's not entirely unexpected because she kind of had a lead up feeling towards this situation anyway because of the discomfort that she felt earlier. We see the 8 of Wands here, which is normally like a communication card, could also mean moving quickly. Maybe she tried to signal the people around her that something wasn't going quite well. We do see here the 9 of Wands though, which is tired of certain things, also perhaps tired of fighting perhaps. And again we have the 5 of Pentacles. Alright, so there's a couple 5 Pentacles in this reading again. We see double cards. So it looks as though she was trying to communicate, trying to fight possibly as well. After all, she could not keep that up because of course she is a 23-year-old girl, I believe, though she was also quite smaller than average, or appeared younger than she really was, and I do believe she also had asthma, so she may not have been able to keep up a fight for very long because her asthma may have kicked up. She had allergies as well. She needed daily medication, I believe, so maybe her energy ran out really fast, particularly after a concert and spending some time in a bar. I think he would be tired. She would definitely not be able to fight for very long, and I think this card is also pointing towards that, like just losing strength, losing hope, losing resources. I was drawn to look at that red marking on the roof there. I don't even really know what that is, but it's like the signs are on the wall type of thing. Also, these windows are shuttered, this door is closed, and there's only like an eye peeking out. The streets appear to be very abandoned, so I'm thinking she's feeling like she's all alone, and even though she has tried to kind of signal people that things are not well, they've been ignored. It happens quite often that you have this bystander effect where people see something happening but they're like, I don't really want to get involved. Like that type of thing, like maybe somebody saw something and was like, not my business. I'm pretty sure that's not what I think it is. I'm just going to keep doing my own thing. So she's at this point feeling very much alone and tired and abandoned. Let's see what else we can get. There's that one that jumped out. This is the 6 of Swords, so we are at this point being taken against our will, I believe, because that is the 6 of Swords often in these types of cases, like being transported by somebody else. Can also be just letting go with the flow, so to speak, but in this case not in a positive sense, more like I don't have an option, I don't have a choice, so all I can do is sit and wait to see what happens, perhaps also try to stay calm. And the Swords is also a communication card, so she may have just tried to talk along with them, similar to around here with the 2 of Cups, like just kind of agreeing with things, just keep things quiet, keep the person calm. But this is more of a tense silence type of card right now. Oh, there's one. 8 of Cups, unable to walk away. Like I said, we're just being taken somewhere. We don't have options. We can't leave. There's not much we can do. Even though she wished and possibly was looking for ways, like maybe she tried the door handle and that didn't work. Maybe in a very sneaky way, tried to figure out when he was going to slow down to take a turn or something like that, and just try to figure out exit strategies that way on the fly, and just not really having that option, not really seeing anything that will work. We have the Page of Wands here, which I think is a sudden burst of action. Perhaps not thought through, but more like a last-ditch effort type of thing. Like just trying to, I don't know, roll down a window and climb out or something. Just like a last-ditch effort to try and get herself out of that situation. May have been partially successful because it's upright. Usually when it's in reverse, I tend to say that it didn't work. But let's see what we have here. Knight of Cups in reverse. Okay, so he was not happy with that. I think that is the same Knight of Cups as before. Did not appreciate that. Made him fairly unhappy. Oh, there's a lot of cards here. Alright, so we have the Fool in reverse. So she's definitely not being led by anybody at this point. She may have been trying to run away. We have quite a few cards here. Actually, we have a couple over here. maybe trying to run away, but just not being able to. And the Magician in reverse is showing that as well. Her capabilities are less than they should be. We have the Three of Swords over here. Three is a crowd, the Chariots, and the Ace of Cups. Okay, so this is interesting. I'm thinking with the Three of Swords here that maybe there was somebody else on the scene that may have been working with the other person. Like you see, two fairly large swords here with one small one in the middle. They may have encountered an accomplice or may have been driving in that direction, and this person was there to stop them, because next thing that we see here is the Chariot. So there is still movement. And then there is the Ace of Cups, which is interesting because that's like an attempt at perhaps being friendly with somebody, just trying to make a new connection perhaps that will help her out. But I don't know if that's really what happened because of the Three of Swords. And the next card that I see is the Four of Pentacles in reverse. So this is an incareful spending of resources. Could be that she threw all her trust in this newfound friend or potential ally, and that turned out to be a waste of investment. So like I said, maybe this person that she may have tried to connect with may have been an accomplice of this other person, or at the very least not planning on rocking the boat and helping her out, but perhaps just returning her to the person that she was with. She may have come across pretty frantic and confused, and then this other person may have been like, what do I do with this girl? And the other person, the first person, I suppose, the King of Pentacles that we've seen twice now, may have decided to tell a story real quick about how she's just confused and she just needs to get home, take her medicine, and it's okay, fine, I'll take care of it. You would expect if somebody had seen that they would say something about that, because of course there was a lot of news about her disappearance afterwards, but we don't hear anything about that. At least I have not heard anything like that. Okay, so next what we have here is the Two of Wands in reverse. Again, we had that last time, so still not able to make any plans in order to get out. This was the one that we had way at the beginning. Two of Wands in reverse, not being able to go anywhere. Again with the Seven of Cups in reverse, so still having no options, wishing for things to be different, and it's just not working out. Six of Wands in reverse, so that's kind of like losing renown in people's eyes, possibly being made fun of, ridiculed, in front of other people, which is also interesting to see that we have again the Ace of Cups here. So it may be that this new person that she was trying to connect with initially was shown, or at least somebody tried to show her that Dail was not quite whom she was trying to say that she was, and perhaps that made them look less in their eyes, and that's where the Four of Pentacles in reverse comes from, that is a waste of investment, because this new person that may have been able to help them at some point just decided to retract their interest and move on, I think, because once again we are trapped and unable to go anywhere. Whoop. Okay, that's a lot of them. Okay, so this is a fairly small stack. I'm thinking I'm going to do these guys first and then the card on the floor, which I see in the background. Okay, so 10 of Wands is next, and that is definitely her being really tired because she has just been struggling so much, just being unable to fight off this event. We have the Hierophant in reverse, so maybe somebody actually, this reminds me of the case. This is a whole different case, of course, but Jeffrey Dahmer had a victim at some point escape his apartment and end up outside, and they were appearing erratic as well, because I do believe that they didn't even speak the language, so they appeared erratic to the people that were on the street, and the police was called in, and then the police was like, oh, because Jeffrey told them, oh, this is just a boyfriend of mine, and he just needs to go to bed because he's drunk, or something along those lines. And then the police were like to everybody who had gathered there, like, oh, nothing to see here, go home, and they allowed Jeffrey to take this victim back into his apartment. That's kind of what the Hierophant in reverse is pointing towards. It seems like whomever encountered her with this abductor, I'm going to call them an abductor now, believed the abductor's story and was like, okay, no, it's fine, you're just confused, just get back in the car, it's fine, that type of thing. and just made the complete wrong decision. We have the Eight of Swords here, which is a card of mental confusion and mental entrapment. So this could also be pointing towards that type of story, like, no, you're just confused, like I just said, don't need to take you anywhere, because this person over here is going to take care of you, and if you just sit tight, everything's going to be fine, that type of thing. King of Wands in reverse here, followed by the Eight of Pentacles, is the King of Wands basically just does act very quickly, very methodically as well. Well, because he's the king, he's really good at it, that type of thing. It's not quite King of Pentacles methodical, but more like knows what he wants, knows when he wants it, knows how he wants it, and that's exactly what he's going to do. And you can also see that by the Eight of Pentacles to the right there. He's very focused on his work, very crafty, maybe somebody who has done this before, or at least has planned this out beforehand, I think, because we see that he has quite a lot of skill in that regard. In that regard, or that skill, I think, can only lead to making people disappear in a way that they cannot be found any longer. So this, I think, is the point where she lost all hope, because people were just telling her to go with this guy because that would be the best course of action for her, and that's where he took his chance to basically end it all, because he was getting too much attention, I guess, with her around, and after a while people will do these types of things. They want to get rid of their victims because it's getting a little too hot under your feet. Now I'm going to grab the card that fell on the floor. Hang on. Okay, so the card that fell on the floor is the Star, which I can only see as at the end of all of this that she had to go through, and this person taking care of business, so to speak. We see the Star here, and I think this is the point where people notice that she's missing, and her picture is on all the TV stations, at least locally, to ask where she is. Maybe he sees posters of her now, and now he's like, oh no, there's a lot of light being shown on this case. So I think at this point he's done his deed, and he's seeing that she is now really being put in the spotlights. Can we see anything else though? Because I believe that she is no longer with us at this point in the story. Are we going to ever find anything about the perpetrator, or are we going to find her? Because we haven't actually found anything of hers yet either. That one. Okay, we have the Three of Wands over here. Jumped out. I asked if we were going to find anything. Almost looks like somebody may be planning an expedition, or will be planning an expedition to go look for things. Almost like following her lucky star as well. As you can see, there's like a star overhead, and there's something over here. It almost looks like some type of whale or something jumping out of the water with a star over top of it. Like there's going to be some type of hunch that somebody will have, like, oh, maybe I should go look here, like a sudden inspiration. Because of course the wands are also a fire deck, which it can also be sudden inspiration as well. Sudden inspiration to travel, to go places, check things out. And then we see Two Cups in reverse and the Nine of Wands. Alright, so the Two Cups in reverse, I think, is somebody whom is no longer buying into certain things. There may be a certain narrative going on about this case that they do not buy, they do not believe, and maybe they're just trying to turn over a new leaf, like they're ignoring all of the previous case information other than the basic details and just kind of starting over with that and checking out to see if they can find anything. We do see here the Nine of Swords, so they are very much anxious about it for some reason. Maybe they feel like, oh, I might actually run into the person who did this, and they might not be sure how to deal with them once they do. We're just very anxious to get this case solved finally. Okay. The Eight of Swords again, but this time it's in reverse. So they're definitely not caught up in any previous stories, perhaps. They're trying to keep their mind as objective as and unbiased as possible. I also see them kind of like denying other people's opinions as well, because you see that there's a whole flock of birds there in the top. And there's even a bird sitting on his head. Like normally the Eight of Swords is kind of like something that surrounds you mentally, that's kind of keeping you trapped. And the dog is kind of looking the other way. I feel like this may be somebody who has been told by others, like, nah, that idea of yours, nah, that's crazy, don't do that, and it's nonsense. And why would you spend so much time? Why would you spend so much effort? Like, what are you going to get out of this? And you're just kind of ignoring that. So this might be somebody who is very fanatical in that sense. Like, I'm thinking somebody who is either just somebody who really, really likes to crack cold cases but is not really law enforcement, or is just somebody who really wants to get things done. And also I think this is somebody who has a lot of energy, because we see this is the 10 of Wands in reverse. 10 of Wands is normally something like they're super tired at the end of something. Could be that they're about to complete something, but I think that this is more somebody who will work tirelessly in order to crack this case. It seems as though, will they though? Because let's see if we can find any cards about that. Any final cards about if we're gonna find her at all. We have here the 7 of Swords in reverse. 7 of Swords is normally like deception, somebody trying to steer them off in the wrong direction. So I'm thinking that this person is just really steadfast, I think is the word I'm looking for. So not only can they not be worn down easily, they will not be taken off their path, they're also kind of tireless, and they're working on intuition without trying to get influenced by other things that people have said in the past. They also will not deviate from their path, I think. Doesn't quite see if they're going to find them. Let's try to get at least one card about that if we're going to see them cracking the case, because so far we see somebody who is very dedicated, but it doesn't necessarily see a results. Okay. The one on the right. Let's see what we have. We have the High Priestess. Okay, so this person is possibly not going to find anything physical, but they may intuit certain results, by which I mean this may be somebody whom will, I don't know, somehow be able to connect to this case. They may come up with a lot of interesting ideas that law enforcement might want to take a look at. Like, they may not be able to go into certain people's houses because you just don't have that legal right to do so. I'm thinking this might be an amateur investigator, because of all the cards that we're pulling right now. They are very dedicated, they have a lot of time, they're ignoring everybody else, and they have a certain intuition to them that led them to the case in the first place with this 3 of Wands. And I'm thinking that they're going to eventually bring out some type of new information that they feel like law enforcement should check out. Hopefully they will. And then hopefully we'll be able to get a little closer to the case. Nothing super conclusive right now, except that somebody's going to be very dedicated to the case, who may also help us get closer to resolving it. So that is what I'm seeing for Dail Dinwiddie. I hope you found that interesting. In any case, hope to see a like and a comment from you. That really helps the channel along. If you'd like to subscribe, that'd be great as well. And I hope to also see you in another video. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.